Tara is my brother's adopted daughter, and I'm her adopted uncle. Tara actually was a very cute child, but somewhere along the line, she really became a problem. Truth became a very big inconvenience for her, unless it was to her advantage. As a matter of fact, growing up through high school, junior high, she was a flamboyant liar. And she, actually, and I don't like saying it, but she was a thief. I would want to go as far as say she was a pathological liar. Truth was unknown to her. If she was caught doing something, she would deny it until forced to show that, well, we know you did it, here's the proof, and then she would just backtrack and say, I did it, with wild irresponsibility. It didn't seem to matter what she did. In junior high school, the superintendent, as well as the teachers, actually didn't want her there. And it was strongly suggested and demanded that she do this program called PINS, P-I-N-S. And PINS stands for Persons in Need of Supervision. And children that were suspected of doing drugs, and actually I can give the list here, what they are. A person in need of supervision is an individual under the age of 18 who does not attend school, and she didn't because she would skip it quite often, behaves in a way that is incorrigible, ungovernable, or habitually disobedient, is beyond the control of a parent, guardian, or lawful authority, and requires supervision or treatment. Tara fit all those, and the school didn't want her there anymore. My brother was in a rock and a hard place. He did not want her taken from him or placed into a home run by the state or to become a ward of the state. She was impossible to live with at home. Her siblings did not get along at all with her. And she basically was a parent's worst nightmare. So a decision had to be made what to do with her. I had a construction business, and Tara's dad, my brother, and I worked together. We would build homes. We would design them and build them, and so I had a very close relationship with my brother, and I would hear about Tara daily. And I can tell you that Tara made my brother's life a living hell. During Tara's early teen years, she stole her grandmother's car keys, which happened to be my mother, and then proceeded to steal the entire car, drove it 25 miles into Buffalo, and left it. My mom came home and said, "Where's my car?" So we finally tracked it down, and Tara had taken it. She just acted with wild abandonment. It didn't matter who owned what was said. Just imagine if you're living with a person like this, what that's like. Tara was not a normal kid. When you first saw her, she was all friendly and said hello. But that was usually if she needed something, or wanted something, or wanted to paint a nice picture. Within an hour of seeing Tara, you were wondering what she was up to. What was she doing? And most of the time she'd disappear and do nothing, which was pretty much what Tara did, was nothing. I don't think Tara ever had a job for more than a month. And she spent most of her adult life on public assistance. She says she has a good work ethic. Tara's definition of a good work ethic is one who doesn't have to work. Tara has been, by her own admission, arrested 7 times for crimes such as domestic violence, drug charges, disorderly conduct, just to name a few. This is Tara's life. Tara is the person that people write songs about. She broke my heart, took my dog, my car, drained my credit cards, and left. That's Tara. If you see her coming, run. Your life will be a mess within 2-3 hours. She's the kind of person where when she shows up, people just start fighting. They feel bad. They start getting emotional, aggravated, angry, and they don't even know why. And when she leaves, you feel relief for some reason. She is a leech on her parents, her friends, on society. And it's interesting because Tara doesn't have any friends. And according to people that know her, she's too mean to them. They try to be her friend, but she's too mean, so they just walk away. Her own sister that she lived with for a month had to remove Tara from the apartment where they stayed. Tara was a complete and utter slob. She brought home a different boy or man at the time every other night, came home intoxicated to the point where she would vomit on her clothes, sleep in it, and wake up in the morning, start over again. Who would want to live with a person like that? And she didn't. Her sister moved out. And the stories go on. They go on and on and on. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Living with her was hell. I saw it in my brother. I've seen him, be so at his wit's end, he'd have tears in his eyes. It's like, what am I going to do with this person? Tara has 2 children, and I'm sure that she loves them. However, the last time she came to visit her parents, Tara's parents, they tried to make it very nice for her. And Tara went out, leaving the 2 children to my brother and his wife to watch for the evening, which they did. Tara came home at 2-3 in the morning, intoxicated. And in the morning around 8 o'clock or so, her son got up and said, "I'd like to speak with my mom," and was told that your mom's still sleeping. And the son waited till noon to speak with his mom. I guess he wanted to go somewhere, whatever. And Tara woke up at noon, was told that your son's waiting to speak with you. She ignored him, went outside, and took off with her friends, and apparently got high, stoned, whatever they did, and didn't even talk to her son. Tara has been arrested for domestic violence, and the person that actually called it in to the police was her husband. Now, at this point in time, they're not married. They had the marriage dissolved. Tara actually would explode, and there's numerous accounts of her getting in fights and being hard to deal with, and it goes all the way back to when she was a teenager. And yet, the interesting thing is, she's an incredible actor. She can be so sweet, and you go, who could not like this person? But don't turn around. Watch your back. Tara is extremely cunning. She takes things that don't really belong to her. It takes advantages of things that the average person or normal person wouldn't do. If something's free, she'll take it. If there's a way to get a free payment from the state, she'll take it rather than go to work. Tara can't work. She can't work. She can't hold a job. And the ones that she did have, she quit within a very short time. Whatever Tara would say, you'd have to take 3 steps back and consider the source. Is that true? And 9 times out of 10, it wasn't. Or it was completely embellished. If she had a sliver in her thumb, she had 12 stitches instead. Things like that, She'd make people feel worse, not better. Her demeanor was one of partying, getting stoned, getting drunk on a daily basis. Who can live like that? She smoked drugs in front of her children. She's had drugs in her house. She's been arrested for drugs. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. She's been arrested 4 times in the last 3 years. She hasn't grown up. She doesn't have any responsibility. Everything that happens to her is somebody else's fault. It's not hers. Tara's sister said that she wouldn't trust Tara with her own daughter, and she wouldn't trust Tara with her car. And when I asked Tara's sister what she would trust her with, she actually didn't say anything. So I asked her, would you trust her with the truth? And she looked at me and started laughing. At the address where Tara used to live, one of the neighbors in the apartment complex had wrote into a website called Good Neighbors, and there you can complain about your neighbors in the apartment complex. And they said that this apartment where Tara was living had 2 people in it, and apparently the lady thought that there was child abuse going on, and they should call Child Protective Services on Tara. Well, that may be true because Tara would spend a lot of time away from home. She would be intoxicated quite often, and she'd smoke drugs in front of her children. Well, what kind of parent does that? So, yeah, they probably should have called Child Protective Services. When you have a close family, like we did, you try to help one another. And if someone needs help, you help them. If someone's in trouble, you come to their assistance and you give them aid, whatever they need. Tara needed help. And I can honestly say that the family members tried everything they knew how to do to help her, to give her a good life, to give her a good start in life. However, if you don't want help and you won't help yourself, what can you do? Much time, effort, money, heartfelt allegiance was given to Tara. And she basically would accept it because it was free, but it would never end. She was the kind of person you would have to help forever because she could never really help herself. Even today, she's on social services and getting paid with child support. She needs to be supported.